Hello everyone, Sheek here with another Transformers review, and today I will be reviewing the Naval Commander MB-15 by Fans Hobby Master Builder series to offer Transforming Robots fans long-waiting characters with new concept interpretation, also to bring collectible figures to a new extended dimension. Multi-modes, one robot included, combined mode, truck mode, base mode, that is Sparkplug, Optimus, obviously, Armada style packaging. There we have him in his combined mode. Master Builder shows all the different modes, extended truck mode, which I don't really see the point of. I think it was made in a couple episodes. Base mode, and core robot, which is, Optimus. And then there is Sparkplug, and optional ears, as they call them, but it's not ears, it's the I always saw some more like smokestacks based on the way they looked. But that's pretty much it for the packaging. As you can see, they have what looks like ocean waves. I know it's upside down because of the way I flipped it, but yeah, that's pretty much it for the packaging. So let's go ahead and get him opened up. So just slice the tape right there, and then go ahead and flip out the tab. And I really don't want to damage this box because I really like this box. I really dig this box. I already have the Cybertron Optimus. I mean, I don't have the third-party one that they're in the process of making, but I wouldn't mind getting the third-party one. But I really would like to get an Energon Optimus, and then I could have the Unicron Trilogy set of Optimus Primes. And there we got him out. And behind the backdrop of the sea and sky, there is his instructions, and he also has a collector characters card, which is definitely going into my card collection. I know not every collector is a huge fan of the cards, but I really do quite like them myself. There is the stats: strength, wisdom, speed, courage, firepower, endurance, and tactics. And there he is in his combined mode. The only downside to these character cards, obviously, they can't have the names of the characters they're meant to represent because, copyright. Anyway, still cool things to have. And then, of course, there is the big instruction booklet. And at least it has more steps on it than some of the other ones I've seen. So it shouldn't hopefully be too difficult to do. And there is Sparkplug, and there he is holding the Matrix of Leadership, which he does at one point. I think he was holding it after Optimus died. And if you do happen to hear any noises talking in the background, that would be my brother. He is playing video games, and sometimes he does get a little frustrated, so it's possible you may hear him in the background. Now, I do believe there is tape holding him imprisoned. Let's go ahead and slice along. Let's see, since it's translucent tape, it's a little difficult to see. Tape right. Yeah, I think I got enough of the tape strips to be able to open it. Open it up. Let's go ahead and slice that, and we can unsnap. Oh boy. Wait, did I miss? Yes, I missed a strip of tape. There's a lot of tape on this, but that's good because you don't want it popping out. Oh boy, that is loud. And there we go. Out comes Sparkplug. He's a nice little, not super detailed, but adorable little yellow car, which is actually about the size of a human if you're going based on how big minicons were in the show. And here we have Optimus. He has a little bit of protective stuff on him. Definitely very reminiscent of the cartoon. Go ahead and set him down, and he has nice rubber tires. And there's some weapon pods, I think, that can also hold minicons. Yeah, so you can have a Sparkplug in here. I think there's, yeah, see, missile pods, although they don't, but you can have Sparkplug in there. Close that up. Shakes around a little bit, but yeah, have that. And have another one, pretty much same thing. Can have missiles, rockets, whatever. And then of course we have his big old gun for both modes. Then also you can have the handles for base mode, but I'll get to that later. But yeah, big old gun, really big gun, but that's also because it's meant for combined mode. And then here we have the, whoa, I guess it's another plastic cover, but here we have the big trailer, and I think this is supposed to be like the stand trailer hitch, which then kind of clips on somehow, but let's just set it up here so it's not just resting up against the countertop, tabletop. And here we have all the other accessories, such as the missiles, that spring-loaded missiles, rockets. And then the optional pieces. These are for, oh yeah, optional eyes, for light-up eyes. And then here are the optional ears, as they like to call them in this. So, and then these are spring-loaded, and they will fire out. And apparently they have a tendency to want to fire out when you don't want them to fire out. So, we'll see. Oh boy, and here they go rolling all over the place. As you can see, little rockets. Self-contained springs. I don't think the springs are necessarily in them specifically, but they get launched out by these launchers on the trailer. Although, like I said, they do have a tendency to fire out, apparently. I'm not sure exactly what fire. Oh, yeah. It's these buttons right there. And they have a tendency, I've heard, to shoot pretty far. And they also apparently want to roll pretty far, too. So, anyway, let's go ahead and get them all. Well, actually, let's leave them out because, like they said, if they have a tendency to shoot out randomly, I really don't want to lose any at this point. And then the nice thing about the trailer, it is rubber treads, and they roll very, very smoothly. And it's not like you have to push down on it, just its own weight is able to cause them to roll. So that's really cool. Really like that. Okay. So, without further ado, I think I'll get to work on Optimus himself. Alright, got the trailer hitched up, and you can pull it around, and it rolls pretty smoothly, and it actually does turn really well, so that's pretty nice. And to attach the hitch, you just tab this in, right into here. There's little slots up here, here, and here, and that's where it plugs in. Alright, so to get him into truck mode, it's, not truck mode, what am I saying? To get him into robot mode, and then also one thing about truck mode is that you can remove the smokestacks and put them on the sides to make it more accurate to the original toy, although in robot mode, if you have them there, they will be in the wrong position. So yeah, definitely want to kind of put it back where it was, at least for getting him transformed. So pretty much what you want to do is just rotate his feet around and click them into place. There's a tab right here that plugs into that slot right there. Just rotate and click, and then that's pretty much about it for there. And then you can go ahead and split his cape or whatever it is, cloak, not cloak, well, I don't know exactly what it's called, but just kind of like armor, I guess, right there. And then you want to slide up his shins, or kneecaps I should say. So you want to slide his kneecaps up. Let's see, come on. Slide up. Oh, slide up like so. And then you want to disconnect. And if you hear any giggling in the background, that is my brother and best friend, as they're probably just looking at some dank memes or something along those lines. So go ahead and extend his arms. Then you can go ahead and disconnect this right here disconnect, untab. There we are. And as you can see, there is the matrix of leadership. I'll go ahead and see if I can pry it out, but I've also heard that it does not like to come out. It's likes to stay in place. So you might want to use something like tweezers or a knife or something to get it out. But you also might not want to scratch it. But let's take a closer look at that. It's a nice little gem, probably one of those plastic bejeweled type things, but still looks quite nice. Nice and blue and sparkly, and then gold plastic, then or at least gold painted plastic. And then let's just go ahead and snap that back into place. Close up his chest, and to do that, you kind of want to get all the these lined up. Just get them lined up into place, and then you just kind of push it in the tab up here, and you just. The problem is that the chain sometimes doesn't want to cooperate, but you don't want to force it either because you don't want to damage them potentially. But you just get it not latched into place, and then you go ahead and rotate this back, and then you want to interlock these as you put them down, and you can maybe have a little bit further back, but I wouldn't recommend pushing it much farther back than that because you might risk damaging it. And then pretty much all that's really left to do is rotate the smokestacks around, revealing his forearms, and then you flip out his hands like so. I don't remember if in the show they were gold. I think it was only the super mode hands that were golden, but I'm not 1% certain. And then it's of course optional. I don't think you have to do it, but you can slide his forearms up to make them a little bit shorter, more like how they're supposed to be. But you can also have them extended as well. But one thing you have to be very careful about is not trying to collapse it while the hands are still inside, because that can severely damage it. I've heard of people breaking it or nearly breaking it, or at the very least severely stressing it. So do not try to collapse it before flipping it out. So get it flipped out, and when you close it up, make sure it's perfectly lined up so this tabs into this little slot like that, and then collapse his forearm like that, making his arms a little bit more appropriately length. And that's pretty much it to get him into robot mode. The only other thing that you might want to do is to pull these out, and that's just to give him a little bit of extra articulation, which would be his hip rotation, which I'm pretty sure the original figure did not have. The original official Hasbro figure did not have, but to be fair, that was so they accommodate him combining for a super mode. But pretty much this is pretty much got him into his robot mode. So pretty straightforward, not super complicated, but there we go. And then of course you can give him his big old gun, and it just slides into his hand, and there is an actual slot in there. As you can see, there's a little, come on, focus. There's like a little track on there that fits into this slot on his hand, and you just slide that in, and it stays firmly in place without having to worry about it falling out. You just slide it down, then you close his hand around it, and that's pretty much it. And let's see if I can straighten out a little bit more. As you can see, hips rotate, but one thing that you have to be very careful of is when you're transforming into super mode, you do not want to forget to push these in and lock the rotation, because that will cause these apparently to come off, and I definitely would not want that to happen on mine or anyone else's, but it has happened. So it is possible to get them back on, but I've heard that it can be pretty difficult to do so. So that's pretty much it for his robot mode. So let's go ahead and take a little bit more time to look at his trailer and then see about getting that into the, maybe take a look at the expanded trailer mode. Now, one thing I did change a little bit since I started the review is that those rocket launcher things can go on the side right here, and I do believe he did kind of have these I don't know if they're this pronounced, but I do believe these were also on the original trailer as well. And then you can have this to help prop it up rather than having to have him hitched up to it to hold it up. So that's pretty cool. And it rolls, like I said, very smoothly. And then Sparkplug will take a closer look at him later. So that's about it for now, and we'll take a look at the trailer. As far as I can see, it's pretty straightforward to take it to the extended trailer mode. You just flip this up, down right there, and as you can see, there's some of the big robot bits, but that's about it. And then you pull these out on the side, and then you rotate them up like this, rotate that up, and then you re-clip them together and just get it all lined up top. And then you flip these out, flip these down like so, and flip down like so. Come on. Nice and good tabs, it would seem. Flip that down, and this is pretty much it for the extended trailer mode. It's pretty much just the trailer with some extra platforms, I guess, for you to set stuff on. And I think maybe this flips out to reveal something. I don't know for sure, or maybe just something clips onto it. I really don't know, but it doesn't really show anything on the picture. It just shows a bunch of mini cons around, which is kind of cool. And it looks like you can also attach those canisters to it, or at least set it to the side. I think it's funny that they call them mini robots rather than mini cons, but I guess they don't want to get sued for using the term mini con. So yeah, that's pretty much about this, and I think we'll go ahead and see about turning this into its base mode, and after that we'll see about getting them into their combined modes, and then that will be about it. Okay, so I'm going to do this a little bit differently than usual. I'm going to do this by looking at the instructions while doing it. So let's essentially winging it. So let's see how this goes. So just flip that out back. Then you want to pull these out. Then you want to disconnect, right? Just essentially pretty much kind of what we did before. But disconnect. And then you want to rotate around this way, which is a little bit different. So it's kind of sticking out. And then you want to lift. Oh boy, looks like something popped off that might not have been supposed to pop off, but we'll see. Yeah, I don't think that was supposed to pop off. So let's go ahead and see if I can get it to pop back on. So it appears you're experiencing some technical difficulties, folks. I'll go ahead and pause this, and okay, got it back on, but that might be something I may need to look into gluing, especially if it's not supposed to come off ever. Okay, so got this rotated up, and let's see. Looks like it's showing it from this angle, and it shows it being like, what is it showing? Sometimes instructions are not the clearest, and it's frustrating when they're not. Okay, so, and another piece popped off. Yeah, I'm starting to think that maybe they should have glued some of these pieces on. Yeah, because that's not staying on. I don't think that's supposed to come off. So, yeah, I'll definitely need to see about gluing some of it. And it looks like maybe it needs to be trimmed. But yeah, that's what I'll look at later. Probably when I get back from who knows how long that will be. Anyway, back to less depressing thoughts. Let's get back to the transforming. Okie doke. Okay. So since it's being kind of weird, I'm just going to Okay, so I think it was, what was it wanting? Yeah, this thing is just, I think what it's trying to get us to do is to connect this over here, but I also don't want to push really hard because I do not want to damage it when I just now got it. Let's see. So it's pretty much wanting me to, I mean, it looks like it's trying to get me to line it up, and it's not quite wanting to line up, but I just need to get it lined up in like in 91 and then move on to step 92, except for whatever reason it's not cooperating. It's just not quite lining up. There we go. Okay, got to line up. So you just kind of have to finagle the ratchets a little bit until you get to line up. And even then it still feels a little bit wonky. Anyway, but we lay it back down. Kind of get these out of the way. Okay, so we're pretty much just going upside down again, just to mess around with this. So we just rotate it around like so, and then we just flatten it out, just kind of out of the way. Then we flip it over again, in which we flip all this out. It looks like, okay, so this is a little weird. I'm not sure exactly what it's wanting us to do, but it looks like it's a kind of a bit of a ramp. There we are. Yeah, it wants us to open it up like so. Get up here and then pull it down. So it is kind of a ramp. It's a, oh boy, this thing is kind of big for this desktop, but you get it to lay it down like so, or about as best as you can with the way it's wanting to be right now. And then you lift this up, and then then it wants these to be lifted up, and it looks like they tab in. This tab goes into this slot, like, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to go in this slot anyway. Nope, I guess not. Right, it's supposed, oh wait, no, it's supposed to go this slot, I do believe. There we are. Yeah, like that, I'm pretty sure. Yep, it's supposed to go in like that. So you want to, that's probably what it was showing in that picture, although it wasn't the most clear, but it wants you to rotate this around down here like so, and then tab it in right there, and then to rotate these back around. So that might be something that I'll even have, well, even once I get this pretty much memorized, this is still probably something that'll trip me up a bit. It will not surprise me if that ends up being the case. Okay, and then I want to lift up this ramp. It shows you lifting, being like pushed down on this side and lifted on this side, although I'm not sure exactly how to get a good grip of it. So I think I'll just go ahead and carefully use this sharp implement to lift that up, and then pull this up. Oh boy, so you want to pull this down, and that tabs into there, and then you want to also pull these up like this. So as you can see, this is starting to get kind of big, like that. Kind of make sure that they're clipped together, as all this separates, I do believe, for like his backpack thing or cloak, cape, whatever it is. And then looks like we flip this in on both sides, just this little thing. Yeah, flip it in, and then once it's flipped in, it wants us to okay, then flip this around, flip this around, and then flip up. Okay, and then clips over, because that's why you flip it down, so it will clip over this support right there. Then it should but then again, maybe it needs to be, okay, that's why it needs to be pushed a little bit further down. Don't freak out about possibly breaking it, although it might be a little difficult to pry out, but that is a future me problem. But let's close, then it should close up, although it is, for whatever reason, not wanting to close up and connect. But it does a little bit, but then it kind of, here we go, that's why, because it's not quite level. Then let's see, once they're clipped, then we want to pull these down just to make ramps. Although I wish it kind of said, hey, you need to make sure it's 100% level before trying to do that, but you just pretty much make ramps. Make ramps. There we are. And then you want to split his legs, and there's these guns right here. Then I do believe you pull up the turrets pretty much, which are his knees, which is kind of funny. Pull them up, and then you extend the guns, but I heard that you don't want to extend them too far or push them in too far. Probably both, so just be careful with them, but just extend the turrets, and then you can of course put his big old gun. So I just need to relieve Optimus of his gun for a moment. And then you of course want to flip these handles out so the mini-cons or whoever is going to be up here can operate his gun. Then of course you can change it from short stubby gun to long gun, or you can have it short stubby. Doesn't really matter, it's up to you. And then you let's see, where is this? Just doesn't matter which hole, you can plug into either hole, doesn't really matter. And then you have a turret for probably Optimus to use, because he can stand like back here like this probably. Well, you might want to move the rocket launchers out a little bit, even though it means it won't be tabbed in anymore. But and then one of them just fell. But then Optimus can, use his cannon gun. And I guess I didn't have that quite pegged in well enough, but I don't want to wedge it in there too much. But there you go, got a turret for him to use. And let's see, I left these on the legs, these right here, but obviously you could take them off and move them here, but I don't really think that's absolutely necessary, but that is something you can do. And that's pretty much it for the base mode. I'm definitely would love to get all the mini cons I used to have way back when. I used to have a bunch of them, but I could then reenact some of the scenes from like the show, and that would be pretty cool. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the base mode. So all that's really left is the super mode, and of course little spark plug. So yeah, that's about it for that. Although the instructions have you getting Prime ready for the combined mode first, it makes more sense for me to get the oversized trousers transformed first, just to get it ready and out of the way. So first thing you want to do, of course, is collapse this down, disconnect that, lift this up, collapse that down, and just collapse that up. And then you want to flip this down. Then you want to go ahead and fold up these ramps like they were. Ramp, but the two halves of the ramp, which for obvious reasons there's two halves rather than just one. But yeah, get folded up. And then you want to go ahead and push in the barrels of the knee cannons, but you don't want to push them in all the way. Just push them in just enough, because you don't want to get them stuck. I would really hate that. And you rotate them around. And then, let's see. Then you want to get his toes done properly. You want to make sure that they get completely clipped, and then they'll move down a little bit. Here, click into place, and then move the toe down a little bit. And then you want to pull the feet out, just to so you can have proper articulation. And then once you get it that way, you want to stand it up. Just maybe, well, I think it's supposed to make things a little bit easier, but who knows? We'll see. Let's go ahead and get his feet adjusted so we can work with this standing up. There we are. Okay. So now we got standing up. It's looking at it from the front. So we want to just pretty much collapse these up. Oh, come on. Move back up. Move up. Okay. Pretty much what we did to this side, you want to do to this side. You just want to collapse it up. And then then clip, just fold that back. Even though it's making a clicking noise and it kind of startled me a little bit, but it should be fine. And pretty much probably should go ahead and flip these back out, even though it doesn't specifically, oh yeah, actually that's actually the next step, is to flip those back out. So there we are. Just get your fingernail under there and untab it and just flip it back around. Okay, that one's not as stiff, but yeah, get that flipped back around. And then you want to flip up his crotch or cod piece, whatever you want to call it, but yeah, get that ready. And then rotate this, flip it down, rotate, flip it down, just giving him some extra. It makes me think of like the flaps, like armor flaps, I guess, from like Roman soldiers, maybe something like that. That might be what I'm thinking of. Maybe it isn't, but I guess you also make sure it's clipped together just to make it a little more solid. And then you want to slide it up, and then and then you want to rotate this around like so. And for some reason, I think there we are. So I wasn't able to get that ratchet for the other modes. That's probably why the base was a little wonky for a little bit there. Then you want to, let's see, just split this. Yeah, need to move the camera up because this is getting kind of tall, but split the whole thing like that. And then you want to get this thing just lined up just so that's pretty much hidden by this, but just get it off to the side. And you close up the treads like that. Looks like they're supposed to tab into place. I don't think they necessarily tab into place, but you just fold them over. And then, oh wait, yeah, they are supposed to tab into something. Hang on, just bring these down. They're supposed to kind of just tab into place, and then the treads, this tabs into right there like that. Rotate this down, so that means you kind of want to probably have this rotate to the side a little bit. Get this down. Come on. Clip, and then just kind of have the hitch off to the side. And then after that, next page, then you just want to bring all this back down. And yep, that's pretty much it for the oversized trousers. Got that ready, and it looks like it might be possibly a little bit back heavy, but we'll see. So that's it for this part. Now to go ahead and get Optimus converted to Super Optimus Super Mode. I want you to join the Armada cause today. I don't know, something goofy. So what you want to kind of do to get him into his super mode, and also winging this one as well, you just want to flip these up and pull it up. Just pretty much what you do is it kind of, if you were taking him back into his vehicle mode, and you pull this down and up. Come on, untab, unclip, unsnap. I do not like resorting to the knife, but if I have to, I will. Okay, get that untabbed, and you clip it in. Okay, it's up a little too. Now it's up a little too high, but get that clipped into place like so. And then this is where things get a little different. Kind of pull this up, and then you want to okay, now it's up again, but you want to pull this let's see, chain's being a little bit weird. I'm not exactly sure how to get it to come down, but you want to kind of pull it. Oh boy, is this chain flexible enough to do it? It should be. Let's see, let's try it with the tweezers. But you just want to get it to rotate down on both sides. Maybe I'm just being a little too tender with it, who knows. But you just pull it down, and then you rotate. Okay, maybe it's not down far enough. Okay, then you, come on, rotate. There we are. Rotate it around, and then once it's rotated, you push these back down, and then I do believe you and then you clip it. Come down. You clip it. These two slots go onto these two tabs. So let's see if I can get them to line up proper. All nice and proper. There we are. Just get them lined up, push down, and the chain should be nice and neat like that. And then you want to extend his forearms. Go ahead and close up his hands, but you want to extend his forearms so that you can then open them up and put his hands up. Hands up, not in that regard, but definitely want to put his hands away. Extend, open up, flip in. Looks like it wasn't fully extended, but then close up. And then I'm going to rotate the smokestacks back around like so. And then from here, then you want to start on the legs. You want to, well, it looks like they're already extended. Probably. Oh, nope, they're not. So you extend his legs. I mean, I suppose you could also have him extend for his regular robot mode, but there we are. You extend his legs, and that's more for to just give him longer arms for the super mode. When you extend his legs, you make sure that you get his feet lined up by getting them rotated pretty much straight so that they'll clip back into place back here. Because if it's not quite rotated right, it's not going to line up, but once you get lined up, it should tab back into place like that. Then do the same on the other side. Come on. Yeah, and see how it's not wanting to go down because it rotated at the last minute. So you just want to get rotated just so, and then flip it up and around and click it into place. Once you got that done, you want to go ahead and flip these up so you can get his super mode hands flipped out. And it looks like I just popped off his thumb because they probably didn't have it in there right. So I'll need to figure out exactly how his hands should go in there. But there, got his thumb popped back on. And just close that up. Hopefully his thumb doesn't pop off this time. Nope, it did not. So maybe it just needs to be straight up like that. Okay, close it up. And now he is Mr. Feet Hands. Okay, now that we got that done, the next thing to do, okay, well, make sure these are up and out of the way, is to pull these apart. And this is why it's so essential to make sure it's locked, because this is where it would rotate off of. But yeah, pull them out like that. And then you want to pull down the cab, it looks like. Come on. Pull down the cab like, no, come on. It's not going to budge, but I don't want to break it. Okie doke. I do believe it's just the upper part of it. Okay, so yeah, you just want to pull it down and out so you can rotate the head out, which is pretty big, pretty cool. But yeah, you flip the head out, and then once you flip the head out, okay, wings, but you want to rotate these. Okay, boy. Oh boy. Let's first off get these kind of rotated up to get the shoulder pads out of the way. Yeah, his the butt flaps, whatever you want to call them, become shoulder pads. But you also want to flip this out. So yeah, flip this out right here. Kind of rotate this back. Rotate this back. And this is also a problem that people have noticed, is that when you bend it back, sometimes it puts excess stress on here. But I hope at least on the version I have, they fixed that, so it won't be putting too much stress on there. But you just bend it back a little bit just so that you can tab these into place, the gap fillers, and there we go. Got that part done. Now to let's see, pull these out to lock his shoulders in. I'm just gonna pause this video, and once I get both of them tabbed in, I'll resume. Okay, so I managed to use his chin on that side. On this side, I just managed to get the tweezers to do it, but yeah, that locks that into place. Just make it to where it's not going to just droop down. And of course, you want to get his ears, as they call it, flipped out. Although this is the more stylized one that isn't as accurate to the cartoon, which I will do my best to remedy at some point. Hopefully before I leave. That would be very nice. And then I can maybe give you guys an update if I have a chance to do that before I leave. Okay, let's see. Looks like might be having some trouble with his arm, but let's see. Next step. Got those tabbed in. Yes. Now we're on to finishing up his shoulder blades. Shoulder pads, whatever you want to call them. But you just want to get it tabbed in. Just want to get this peg into this hole and this peg into this hole. Just get them lined up. And tabbed in. Except only one of them's going to line up for whatever reason. Okay, let's see. The problem is that it's kind of, for some reason, dark. There we are. Okay, managed to get it tabbed in, which is good. Got that done. Now just to do the other side. Flip that around. Get it to tab in. Hopefully this one won't be as problematic. And of course, it wants to be problematic. There we are. Got it tabbed in. And now we got his signature shoulder pads. Now, next thing to do is probably going to be dealing with his shoulders and arms. Alright. Let's see. Trying to figure out exactly how to... there we are. Rotate to where you can get his... Whoops. Elbows. There we are. Elbow joints. And you want to have of course, the knee pad slid all the way down. But you just need to rotate it to where... Problem is rotating it where you want it to rotate. Come on. Because it's like... going to rotate at one point, but not there. There we are. There we are. Now we got him with his proper arms, and I think it's kind of cool that the fuel tanks become like his biceps because they actually look kind of big, so that's kind of cool, I guess. Now, next thing to really worry about is getting his arms all lined up properly for this. And of course, do not try to collapse these. If for some reason you get the urge to collapse them, do not, I repeat, do not try to collapse them. You will damage his hands. And then you want to kind of get this slot right here. Come on, focus. Focus. There, that tab into that slot. It's the alternate tab that I think I was trying to get both of them tabbed into for whatever reason when I was earlier when I was turning them back into truck mode or something like that. Although it isn't quite going to line up. I'm not sure exactly why. Let's see, let's take a look at it on this end. Okay, maybe this kind of needs to go down. There we are. Collapse down a little bit more. Get this thing to, there we are. Work its way down, and then try to tab in, or maybe not. Okay. Maybe I'm trying to tab in the wrong one. No, I don't think so. Let's see. Yep, I am, I guess. I guess it is supposed to be the lower one. Okay, that's weird. I could have sworn it was the upper one for vehicle mode. Anyway, or lower one. But yeah, it must have been the upper one then, because there, it's tabbed in its place. And I feel a little foolish. Okay, there we are. Okay, so, come on, there we are. Get all pressed together, nice and squozen. And there we got that done. And last thing to do, although it doesn't really specifically say or show it, or maybe it does, but you just kind of want to get his, doesn't show it exactly, but you just want to get his arms lined up and just tab them into the back right there, and there we got him all souped up for his super mode. And let's go ahead and attach him to his oversized trousers. Okie doke, flip. Okay, so it looks like we need to get him the back end clicked in first, then the front part click in, and then that's pretty much it. And then you just give him his accessories and you're good to go. Alright, so let's tilt this up. We're definitely going to have this tilted up for the finale. So, wait a minute. So, that's weird. Well, anyway, so is it the front two and then the back one? Okay, it would appear it is the front two and then the back one. Although, I'm not sure exactly how they want you to remove him. I'm kind of afraid to try to remove him. I really don't want to pull up on him right now. Now I finally got him. Oh boy, and I just broke him. Come on, like seriously? That's so messed up. That's totally not fair. That is so not fair. How did that break so easily? Well, I don't know if I'll be able to fix it, but that sucks. That really sucks. I don't know how I'm going to fix this or recover from this, but I guess that is something I should not have been pressing down on, but I did not realize it was that delicate. But yeah, it's just being held on by that little thing, and oh boy, that's really bad. Yeah, I probably am not going to be able to fix this easily. But I might be able to at least get this to sort of tab back on. Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to fix this. This is not going to be an easy fix, if at all. So I'm just going to go ahead and tab this back on. It's not going to necessarily stay on that well, but yeah, that's a pretty weak joint. Did not realize it was that weak. So yeah, that's, well, was not expecting to break him, but I mean, that's bound to happen at some point. But that is really sad. But the show must go on, so let's go ahead and finish this up. You just, same with his other hands in his other mode, you just slide it in and then wrap his hands around, and you have a big old gun. Yep, really big old gun that seems to suit him a little bit better in this mode than it did in his smaller robot mode. And that's about it. Articulation wise, hopefully I can do it without knocking that piece off, but arms can do pretty much, yeah, a full 360. You can go out that far. Little less than 90-degree bend at the elbow. And and then you can also bend that way. Bicep swivel, wrist swivel, pretty much fully articulated fingers, and they don't splay out at all. He does have, okay, I'm not even going to grab up there. I wish I never grabbed up there to begin with. But anyway, he does have hip rotation, but of course his backpack stuff's going to get in the way of that. I do believe he can do pretty much the full splits if it wasn't for the stuff getting in the way, but he can go about that far. He can go forward relatively far, I think, but it is a really tight ratchet, so you can go about that far back forward. Obviously, you won't be able to go very far back because this will get in the way, but you can go about that far back. And then at the knee, about 90 degrees. He has thigh rotation, and of course he also has the kneecap turrets that rotate, but that's pretty much something else. Then you of course have the toes that move. That can be for like kids, they do go down. Then of course you have side to side. Then they can go down like that. They can go like that. So you got a pretty good range of foot articulation. Let's go ahead, and that's pretty much it for Naval Commander. Let's go ahead and finish up with Sparkplug. Sparkplug, hopefully he won't break so easily. Yeah, this is the first time I've really had something expensive like this break on camera. It's kind of depressing, but I'll get over it. Maybe I can possibly get a replacement. I doubt it, but anyway, let's see. Like I said, let's go on, move to Sparkplug. Alright, so Sparkplug's a pretty simple little car. Just, whoops, well, that's the first time his arms popped completely off. I was warned, there's a warning in a video that I watched that his arms have a tendency to pop off. That's the first time it popped off with me, but hopefully that will only really be the last time. Come on. Back on in there. Come on. There we are. But you just pop out. Pull this down, although it doesn't really want to pop up for whatever reason, so I kind of gotta assist it. Then you just kind of untab his legs, rotate his legs down, and then pull his legs down, just untab them, pull them down, rotate them down, then flip his feet up, then rotate his waist around, rotate his head around, kind of just get that folded up. You want to get his, come on, focus. You get it to tab in like so, get it to tab in like so, get his arms up like that, and then you just want to kind of just slide it down so you get bend at the arms, and pretty much got Sparkplug in his, come on, focus, in his robot mode. And then you also kind of just want to pull up on his chest or push down on his belly a little bit just to make that more pronounced line. And then that's pretty much it for Sparkplug. I would grab the Matrix really quick, but I would have to open him up, and right now I'm not really, don't feel like I have the heart to do that right now, considering the big faux pas, big mistake, whatever you want to call it. But okay, I mean, I am still upset about this and frustrated myself that I broke this like the day I got it and when I was reviewing it. But what I'm thinking of doing, because there are still these 4 tabs that do hold it in place up here, as you'll see there's 4 slots, and as you can see, could see in the video, I didn't even put, as far as I can tell, I didn't put a whole lot of force on it when it broke off. So what my thought is that if those tabs are relatively strong enough, I should be able to parts form it, just cut this broken hinge off and just stick it on and pull it off whenever I transform. Although eventually I know that's going to make it loose, but I feel like I really don't have any other choice in the matter. But if it works, it works, and when it doesn't work anymore, well, that's bound to happen. Anyway, yeah, I'll figure something out. Alright, so this is what it looks like with the swapped out ears, as they like to call them, and they look much better in my opinion. If I had the right batteries, which I did not, I was going to put the batteries in for the light up eyes, but I was not able to do that. But probably for the best, considering that I'm not going to be here probably for, well, wouldn't be surprised if it's closer to a year, but who knows. Anyway, well, that's about it. This has been another Sheek's Transformers Reviews. If you like what you've seen and you'd like to see more, please click that like and subscribe button to see more. Until next time, have a good one, everyone.